How the first football match was absolute chaos. Football is the most popular sport on earth, but nobody talks about the absolute psychopaths who invented it. Because the first football match was completely unhinged. No referees, no rules, and honestly, no survivors emotionally. Meet Grug, a caveman with exactly 3 brain cells, and all 3 were constantly fighting for 4th place. One morning, Grug was walking through the village when he spotted something weird, a perfectly round animal skin ball lying in the dirt. Now, a smart person would have ignored it. Grug was not a smart person. He looked at that round object and immediately had a terrible idea. The kind of idea that changes human history for all the wrong reasons. So he kicked it, way harder than necessary. That thing left Earth's atmosphere emotionally. Unfortunately, it came back down and landed directly on Ugg. Ugg was Grug's best friend. And by best friend, I mean the guy most likely to punch him on sight. The ball smacked Ugg right in the face, and Ugg immediately assumed this was an act of war. So naturally, he grabbed the ball and launched it right back. Grug dodged it completely by accident, mostly because he tripped over a rock. The ball kept rolling, and somehow that made everybody even more angry. Within 30 seconds, the entire village got involved. Nobody knew what the objective was. Nobody knew who was winning. Nobody even knew if there was a game. But they were all deeply committed. A level of confidence usually reserved for people who are completely wrong. Then Chief Thok showed up, the leader of the tribe, and he was not happy, mostly because somebody kicked the ball straight through his lunch. Now in caveman culture, ruining another man's lunch was basically a declaration of war. So Chief Thok did the only reasonable thing. He kicked the ball too. And suddenly everybody wanted possession. Not because they understood the game, but because nobody wanted anybody else to have it. The first football strategy in human history was literally jealousy. And somehow it worked. Then another tribe spotted the chaos from a nearby hill. The problem was nobody invited them. The solution was they didn't care. They immediately ran into the game. One guy stole the ball and started sprinting in the exact wrong direction, which accidentally created defense. Not on purpose. Nothing in this game was on purpose. At one point, somebody tried to eat the ball, which was technically legal, because there were still no rules. Then Grug accidentally discovered passing, mainly because he fell face first into the ground. The ball launched off his forehead, flew through the air, and landed perfectly in Ugg's hands. For one beautiful moment, teamwork was invented for about 7 seconds. Then they immediately started arguing over who invented passing, which is still basically how sports work today. Meanwhile, the rival tribe reached a giant stone formation. One of them kicked the ball directly between 2 standing rocks. Everybody froze. Nobody knew why, but everyone agreed something important had just happened. Congratulations. Scoring had been invented. The only problem was nobody knew which team scored, so both teams took the point, which honestly feels very modern. After that, the game became unbelievably competitive. People started training, which mostly meant running in circles and screaming motivational nonsense. Nobody knew what they were saying, but morale was incredible. Then, somebody discovered tackling, entirely by accident. One caveman tripped over a rock, flew through the air, and crashed directly into the guy carrying the ball. The crowd loved it, mostly because it looked cool. At this point, football had officially become a real sport. A very stupid sport, but a real sport. Unfortunately, success created a brand new problem. Everyone thought they were the greatest player alive. Even the guy who accidentally scored on his own team. Especially that guy. So Chief Thok decided the game needed rules. A sentence nobody wanted to hear. The first rule was simple. Stop trying to eat the ball, which honestly felt targeted. The second rule was even more important. You only get 1 football, because somebody had already started a second game using a round rock, and nobody knew which match counted anymore. Then they invented referees, possibly the worst job in human history. because every single decision started an argument. Some things never change. Thousands of years later, football became the biggest sport on earth. Massive stadiums, millions of fans, legendary players, championship trophies, and endless debates about referees. All because one caveman looked at a round object and thought, yeah, I'm gonna kick that. And humanity has been chasing balls ever since.
Yo! If you enjoyed this story, smash that subscribe button. Welcome to Watermelon Channel. Subscribe now and don't miss the next part. See you in the next video, legends.